The Wing of Astel is one of the most unique and fun weapons in the game. The curved sword moveset, when dual wielded, is ridiculously good. On top of that, we have a unique R2 attack and a powerful Ash of War that is oftentimes overlooked. The Wing of Astel is in a chest in the Ainsel River area. It's easily accessed once you progress Ranni's questline and take the Waygate in Renna's Rise. Instead of going right to Noxtella for the questline, head straight ahead past the ants. After a couple of jumps and dodging the Lesser Astel, open the chest and grab your new curved sword. We want to use a second curved sword on this weapon, so our light attacks will be the dual-wielded moveset. The neutral and jumping R1s were my favorite for fast bursts of damage. The heavy attack is unique to the weapon. Fully charge the R2 attack, and the Wing of Astel will shoot 2 magical projectiles. They cost 0 FP and look really cool, but the range on the projectiles is much shorter than I expected it to be. This is where the Ash of War comes in. Nebula on the Wing of Astel can shred bosses. The move is the same animation as Flame of the Redmanes, where you spawn clusters of explosive spatial dust in front of you. The clusters blow up a moment later. What makes the Ash of War great is that multiple clusters can damage the enemy. If you have a larger enemy like the Golden Hippo, this move will take it down with ease. This was a high intelligence build, so I could have used any sorcery I wanted. I decided against using any to keep the build simple and enjoy the dual curved sword moveset. For our playstyle, first we have to consider what our second weapon will be. I chose a cold infused scimitar because you can purchase it at the round table hold, it causes frost buildup, and it scales with intelligence. I slapped on freezing mist for this infusion. If you don't start the fight with light attacks, start it with freezing mist to inflict frostbite as quickly as possible. Keep hitting them with your light attacks to build up successive attack power, and when the enemy gives a large damage window, send out a Nebula and watch their poise break and their HP fall. Let me know down in the comments if you have any experience with the Wing of Astel and how you liked it. This weapon was recommended to me a couple times in the Falx video, so I decided to give it a try and had great fun with it. This week, I also had a chance to play the Elden Ring Night Rain beta. I'll expound on my experiences with it at the end of the video. For Talismans, I used the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis. Both give successive attack power boosts, and the Prosthesis gives us 5 dexterity. The Shard of Alexander to boost the already amazing power of Nebula, and the two-headed turtle talisman for better stamina regeneration. The tiers I felt most comfortable with were the Magic Shroud and Crack tier for 20% more magic damage, and the Opaline Hard tier, since this build lacks defense otherwise. Our stats at RL 170 were 60 Vigor, 27 Mind for the Ash of War, 35 Endurance, 17 Dexterity that will be raised to 22 thanks to the Prosthesis, and 80 Intelligence, since our magic damage scales from this stat. The Wing of Astel is not as fast a killer as the Falx, but it was at least, if not more fun than using that weapon. Sometimes a diverse and unique build feels better than using a blatantly overpowered one. With that said, let's talk about the Night Rain beta. For a no-spoiler, bird's-eye view synopsis, I'll tell you what I told the fellas in the group chat. It has the world, Shrinking Storm, and a loot system similar to Fortnite, with the second-by-second gameplay being fast-paced Elden Ring. The game mode that it reminds me the most of is Boss Rush in Remnant 2. I had fun playing it, but I encourage everyone to wait for the full release of the game and watch someone you trust play it before making a purchase. I would show gameplay footage right now, but I don't have a good capture card, and the PS5 did not let you record the game locally. Now, let's get more specific. I had a lot of fun sprinting around the world and going from location to location in a hurry. By the third session, most people realized that you had to kill as many bosses as possible to gain the most power. I was Wilder and had 2 Guardians on my team, and we beat the final boss on the first try in session 3. However, that was technically the second session for PlayStation, since the first one had terrible server issues. I did not get in a single match that time. Wilder was my favorite character because he straight up has a pile bunker like an Armored Core 6 or the Stake Driver in Bloodborne. Morgott and Draconic Tree Sentinel were the day 2 bosses depending on the seed, and both were fun to fight with a new move or two in their arsenal. The final boss, Gladius, is no new favorite of mine, but is perfect for the 3v1 encounter. For a multiplayer experience, it ran pretty well. Some of the jumping felt strange, and I did see a couple enemies A-pose, especially during critical hits. The lack of communication was burdensome in a few cases, and you can only pin from the map menu. Being a From Software game, there is no voice chat. And I hate to say it, but they did somehow make dragon fights even worse. Base Elden Ring dragons are already not very fun, and every time we tried to fight one in Night Rain, they would teleport back to their spawn once, twice, sometimes 3 times throughout the fight. Overall, it was a little janky, but I'm excited to play it on its full release. On the final session, I only played 2 games, and me and 2 randos won both of them handily. Once again, I encourage everyone to wait for the full release before pre-ordering this game, or any game for that matter. Then decide for yourself if the game is right for you.